man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho, and he found himself going down. God found himself going in a downward situation. This man was in Jerusalem, which was the city of peace. Jerusalem was the city of peace. It was the center of our religion. It was the place where God has placed his name, and he found himself traveling downward on a course to Jericho. Now, Jericho symbolizes a place of sin. It symbolizes a place of confusion. He was going down to confusion. He was going down into sin. He's not the first person. You remember Samson. The Bible says in Judges chapter 15, he traveled down to meet this woman by the name of Timothy. I got a witness right here. He went down to meet this woman, this Philistine woman. Now, Brother Eric, his mama and his daddy told him, listen, don't have no dealings with this woman, but yet he still chose to go down. Come to find out, when he got down there, her father told him, listen, you can go back home because she down there with your boy cutting the food or whatever. Now he had to travel all the way home with a heart broken. Now, if he had stayed where he was, he would have escaped refuge, but because he chose to go down, he found himself in a bad situation. Not only did Samson find himself in a bad situation, but you remember the story of Jonah. The Bible says God told Jonah to go to Nineveh, but he chose to go down to Tarshish. The Bible says that he went down to the river. He went down in the bottom of the ship. Come to find out, because all the confusion, they threw him overboard, and now the fish came and swallowed him, and he went down in the bottom of the fish. My brothers and sisters, a downward situation is an ongoing thing, because sometimes you can find yourself slipping away, but God will pull you back. But anytime you're in a place of disobedience, it finds yourself going down, down, down. The songwriter says, I'm going down because Jesus ain't around. Y'all ain't gonna talk back to me. Jonah found himself going down, and I simply came to tell somebody that you need to find yourself in a place where you can elevate yourself and let the devil know, I can't go there no more, because I've reached a place in God where I cannot go down. I've reached a place in God where my mind just won't let me go there. Well, you don't want to believe me. The three Hebrew boys said it like this. The king told him, he said, listen, when I blow this music, when the music start playing, I want everybody to bow. Everybody to bow. And the music started playing, and everybody started to bow. Everybody in the city was bowing, and there was some nosy person in that looked up and saw these three Hebrew boys wasn't bowing. Word got to the king, and the king said, listen, bring these boys here. He said, listen, I sent out a decree and told you when this music comes, I want everybody to bow. And if you don't bow this time, I'm going to throw you in the fiery furnace. I can see Meshach saying, wait a minute, bro, before you play your little music, I just need to let you know that I serve a God that will not let me bow. I refuse to go down. I refuse to lower my standards. I refuse to step outside of my religion. I refuse to play pity-pat with the devil. I refuse to go down and please somebody else, because I serve a God that's able to deliver me. And I like this, even if he don't do it, he's still able. I need to tell somebody that even though the devil is threatening you with different situations, don't allow yourself to bow under his surrender, because you serve a God that's able. Jude said it like this, to the only wise God that's able to keep me from falling. I may trip, I may slip, but I won't fall. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, I won't fall. I won't fall. Not only that did the three Hebrew boys refuse to bow, but there was a man by the name of Nehemiah. Nehemiah was on the wall building the wall, and there a letter came to him and said, Nehemiah, I need you to stop what you're doing and come over here. We having a party over here. We gonna fry some fish, we gonna drink some Kool-Aid, and we just gonna have a good time. But Nehemiah said, you know what, fish sounds good, because I've been working all day long and it sounds good to me. And you know what, I hadn't had a good glass of Kool-Aid since I left South Carolina. But you know what, regardless of how the fish sounds, regardless of how good that great Kool-Aid looks, I cannot come down. I cannot come down. Why? Because I got too much going for me. I cannot come down. I got too much purpose over my life. I cannot come down. I got too much destiny over my life. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, I cannot come down. I refuse to go down. I refuse to go down from here. Why? Because I understand there's too much at stake for my life. I refuse to go down because I know I'm too anointed. I'm too gifted. I got too much potential in my life. The Bible says that this man was journeying on the road to Jericho. Understand, let me give you some history. Y'all can be seated. Let me give you some history about this road by the name of Jericho. This road, Jericho, it stems 17 miles, but the interesting thing is it has 3,600 feet drop in the road. It's a steep, winding, descending road. It's a remote road that for centuries was a place of robberies. It was a road of violence and oppression. It was a road of stripping and suffering. It was a road of deceit and deception. It was the road of hurt and harm. My brothers and sisters, this road, it started off good, but all of a sudden it seemed like things just got out of hand. It was a road that felt like things were okay, but for no reason at all, things just got crazy. It was a place where it seemed like things was holding together, but just in a blinking of an eye, the bottom fell out. It was the road of Jericho. Now, this road, it connected a place of peace and a place of confusion. It was the road that bridged Jerusalem to Jericho. It was the in-between place. Lord, help me. Somebody, you know about the in-between place, the place where you're trying to be saved, but yet there's something that keeps on grabbing at you. It's the place where you're trying to walk upright, but there's something that keeps on nudging at you. It's the in-between place where I'm struggling with my flesh, trying to keep it under subjection because I know what God says. The in-between place where I'm struggling, trying to hold my mind together, where everything else is breaking up apart. It's the in-between place where I struggle with my integrity. It's the in-between place where I struggle with my character. Some of you don't have this problem, but I can be honest, I struggle sometimes trying to do the right thing. I struggle trying to walk up. He find himself in a bad situation, and the Bible says that these idiots jumped him and took everything he had, and the Bible says it left him half dead. Lord, let me work this half dead for a moment, because I was in a situation maybe about a couple of years ago, and it left me depressed. I ain't scared to tell it. It left me depressed, and me and my mom, we went to a psychiatrist, and he said, listen, I just want to tell me everything that's going on with you. And I told her everything that went on, and she said, listen, your situation really ain't that serious. And now that I look at it, it really wasn't, but at the time you couldn't tell me that. But she said, listen, after she told me, she went down the list and told me everything that happened. She said, this happened and that happened, and you went through that and you had to lose that. But she said, listen, at the end of the day, you still got your right mind. At the end of the day, you're still living, you're still breathing, you're still moving. You may not have everything you used to have, but you got it. And she said, listen, this is what I call, you got to look at it in the right frame of mind. So what she did, Puccini, she went and got a glass and she put some little glitter things in there, and she said, this is your life. You can see everything in your life. See all the glitter, everything that's sitting there. And then she went and got some water and she poured a little bit of water in there, and she said, this is your life right now, because before you can take the glitter out and you can put it back in, but now that the water is mixed up with it, you've lost control of it. This is your life. But she said, look at the glass. Even though you've lost control of the situation, you ought to look at it. Either the glass is half empty or the glass is half full. My brothers and sisters, the Bible says that they left this man half dead. But I came to speak to somebody that found themselves in the same situation. And the Lord sent me here to tell you that the devil didn't leave you half dead. He left you still alive. And I came to tell somebody that regardless of where you are in your life, you've got to come to the point where you say, well, yes, I may be down, but I'm still alive. Yes, I may be hurting, but I'm